I'm just going to read you the language in your bill. No classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties relating to sexual orientation or gender identity shall occur. Lady, you mentioned George Washington. Who is Martha Washington?
His wife.
Under your bill, how could you mention that in a classroom?
So to me, that's not sexual orientation.
Really? So it's only really certain sexual orientations that you want prohibited from introduction in the classroom.
Do you have language to make that better, to make it where you're not talking?
Lady, I didn't introduce your bill.
Okay.
And I didn't write it. You wrote it, and so I'm asking what it means. Which sexual orientations do you believe should be prohibited from Missouri classrooms?
We all have a moral compass. And my moral compass is compared with the Bible.
Lady, I believe during your testimony, you said that you didn't want teachers' personal beliefs entering the classroom, but it seemed a lot like your personal belief you would like to enter all Missouri classrooms.
You can believe something without putting that onto somebody by the way you behave. And you can have beliefs and morals and values that guide you through life.
I don't dispute that, but I'm asking about the language of your bill and how it would permit the mention of the historical figure Martha Washington. Could you explain that to me?
So why is she famous? Is she famous because she's married to George Washington?
It seems like that would be a relevant fact in her biography, yes. Could it be mentioned under the plain reading language of your bill? Is that a no?
I don't know, sir.
Okay.
Ann Kelly doesn't view it as an issue when it's a straight couple, like George and Martha Washington, but would very clearly view it as an issue when it's a gay couple. Really gives the whole game away here. She's not against the acknowledgement of sexual orientation, she's against the acknowledgement of queer sexual orientation. And then Kelly asks Chris Stefanelli if he has language to make it better, as if he wrote the bill, as if it's his responsibility to sanitize her vile piece of legislation. Here's a suggestion to make it better. Pull the bill, because there's no way to fix a piece of legislation whose sole purpose is to discriminate against a class of people. And then here's where the extent of her depravity starts to really come through. She continues by saying, we all have a moral compass, and my moral compass is compared with the Bible. In other words, she's saying that she doesn't give a shit whether or not her bill is openly discriminatory, because this isn't about the rights of other people, it's about her own beliefs. She's introducing legislation that comports with her religious agenda. She's not here to serve her district, she's here to serve herself. She's here to proselytize. And so even though we have a separation of church and state in this country, she's not concerned with any of that, because it's not about the Constitution or the law, it is about her and her own beliefs. For Republicans, government is only about how they can help themselves. Also, notice her wording here. We all have a moral compass. The subtext being that being gay is antithetical to her moral compass, that it's immoral. And bear in mind, she's saying this to the face of her colleague who is gay. The extent to which these people traffic openly and shamelessly in abject bigotry is a degree of hatred that ironically only surfaces with people who hide behind Jesus. The fact is that you are not protecting kids by pretending that LGBT people don't exist, or by pretending that the only real relationships out there are heterosexual ones. This isn't 1950 as much as Republicans want it to be. Millions upon millions of Americans are queer, and they have loving, healthy relationships, and they start loving, healthy families, and you are not protecting anyone by hiding that from them. You're just purposefully making people ignorant to reality. And the reality is that they are no different than anyone else, in that they find their partners just like heterosexual people find their partners. And if Ann Kelly doesn't approve of an LGBT relationship, here's some advice. Don't be in one. I hope that people see the tenuous arguments put forward by someone like Ann Kelly and recognize the entitlement, the bigotry, the shamelessness with which she and others like her operate, and how she's not there to serve her constituents, but to impose her backwards religious views onto an entire population that very clearly doesn't want it.